Hi, I'm Crystal Stump, founder and CEO of ABC Consulting and former Virginia ABC Special Agent from the Alcoholic Beverage Control Authority. Today's video is going to talk about the 3 main reasons your ABC application gets denied. Pour yourself a drink, you're going to need it. Thank you for tuning into this video. I really appreciate you watching. If you're a future licensee or a current ABC licensee, this is definitely the channel for you. So please subscribe to this channel. Comment below where you're from, what your business is, if you need a license or if you already have one. Tell us about your business in the comments below. Thank you again for watching. So this is a video that's going to talk about the 3 reasons why your ABC application could be denied. So in Virginia, when you apply for an ABC license for your business, the Enforcement Division is tasked with reviewing that application, investigating it, and ultimately approving it. And there's 3 divisions that I kind of want to break down so that you understand the different divisions at the ABC Enforcement. There's one-day licensing that the ABC Authority refers to as banquets. There's retail licensing, which the ABC Authority refers to as grocery stores, restaurants, gourmet shops, convenience stores. And then there's industry licensing, which is for manufacturers of alcohol. So your wineries, your breweries, your distilleries. The application that I'm going to talk about today is either a retail or an industry application. When you apply to sell or manufacture alcohol in the state of Virginia, you have to fill out an application that you print off the ABC Authority website, and then you have to mail it in. At this point, today's September 2021, they do not have an online database. However, we do. We have an online form at our website, vaabc.com. Click on retail licensing. You can fill out that form, and based on the answers to your questions, someone will reach out to you and give you an estimate of what it would cost to get a license if you qualify for it. And if you need assistance with getting that license, we're here to help. But if you don't use our services, you're going to have to print off the application, complete it, and then mail it in to the Richmond headquarters. And from there, it's going to go through an approval process at the Richmond headquarters in License Records Management. They're tasked with reviewing it, gathering supporting documentations for the application, and then ultimately it gets passed to the regional level. So wherever your business is located, it'll be passed to that geographical region. There's 9 regions in the state of Virginia, and an ABC agent will be assigned to your application, and they'll do the final review, prepare you for the on-site inspection, and then ultimately approve the license if you qualify for it. So let's talk about the 3 reasons why this ABC application or your ABC application could be denied. Number 1, incorrect information on the application. This is so important. And if you are not very familiar with filling out state or government applications, then you need to have somebody help you. If you're not really good at having attention to detail, you need to have somebody help you. Because filling out the application incorrectly or putting the wrong information on the application is going to result or could result in your application being denied. If it doesn't ultimately get denied, it's going to be because your application is incomplete and it just drags and drags and drags and drags and it never gets approved. So incorrect information on the application is one reason. And also leaving things blank, okay? So incorrect or leaving it blank. If you leave answers blank on the application, that can delay and ultimately it could result in denying your application, okay? The other reason would be wrong information on the ownership question, okay? I'm going to talk about that specifically. It kind of goes with what I just said about incorrect information. But most people answer the application questions when it asks who is the owner of the business. People want to put their individual name. It asks for the owner, and you cannot put your individual name unless you're going to be operating as a sole proprietor. So it's very important that you understand that an ABC license in the state of Virginia is actually issued to your entity. So the entity is actually the owner, and they're the ones applying for the license. So if you have an LLC or if you have a corporation, that's the name that you want to put down on that application. And then again, make sure you spell it right. So many people pick the oddest, confusing, long, crazy entity names because they think they want it to be unique. I don't know why. It can make your life really challenging if you fill that name out incorrectly, because it's not your entity. If you write on the application, if you have the word West in your entity name and you put a W when it should have been spelled out, that is not the same entity, and that is not going to be, you're creating so much work. I have a whole video on the entity name and how important that is, and how much attention to detail you need to have whenever you're selecting your entity name and when you're applying for numerous permits for your business, okay? So that's the second one. Number 3, the reason for being denied is lying on the application. If you lie or forget about your criminal history, you could not get your ABC license. And this is so important, guys. That question, so many people forget about their college days, whatever it was they were doing, and they ended up getting a DUI or a felony conviction or drunk in public. You know, I understand people have a past, and lots of people change. We're not the same person. I'm certainly not the same person I was when I was 20 years old, 21 years old. So people do change, but that doesn't mean that you can just forget or not put that on your ABC application. If you have a criminal history, you need to disclose it on the application. If you have speeding tickets, you need to disclose them on the application. You can write on there, if you don't know exactly, you can look it up in the court system and find it to be accurate on your application. Or you can say, see attached DMV, because you're gonna have to provide your driving record anyway. But you know, you want to provide that driving record and make sure that you answer as much of it as you can on the application. Even if you don't remember the date exactly, put something down there. If you know you got a speeding ticket, put it down there. If you know you got a drunk in public, put it down there. If you're not 100% sure on the date, you need to look it up, figure it out, and provide, and ultimately you'll be providing that information to the agent during their investigation. So I think the biggest thing that I want you to take away from this video is that it's not easy to get an ABC license in the state of Virginia. They take the task, the Enforcement Division takes this investigation very serious, and they do not like it when people lie on the application or forget about the criminal histories. Now, I do have videos too, I'll put them in the description below, on can you get an ABC license with a DUI or with a felony conviction. You'll want to watch those videos. It's great information. But the main thing is, when you start this application, don't just, it's like 8 or 9 pages long. You don't want to just go through it and answer and forget what you put on the application and then submit it and not even have a copy of it, because how can you reference it when you're being questioned about your application? So when you fill out your application, make sure you answer all of it, make sure you answer it correctly, and submit it and make a copy of it before you submit it and mail it off to ABC. Now when this goes to the regional headquarters office in Richmond, it's gonna, if it has a huge amount of errors on it or problems or blanks, they're gonna end up mailing it back to you. And then you're not even gonna be able to start your objection period, which is that 30-day period that the license cannot be issued. And if you do that objection, or if you do your publishing in the newspaper, that's part of the application process. After you've mailed this off to Richmond, but they haven't really processed it because they're mailing it back to you because of these errors, you're gonna have to redo your publishing. So if you're not familiar with this process, my advice is reach out to us, vaabc.com. We'll get you to our website at ABC Consulting. Fill out our online form, we'll review it, we'll give you an estimate for our services and the actual cost of the license, and make sure that you actually do get this thing in a timely manner. You know, one other thing I'm going to add in there that would be a reason you would be denied. I know I said 3, but I got to put this in here too. It is not qualifying for the license. That is a huge one. Could you imagine going through the entire application process and realizing you don't qualify for the license you put on the application because you didn't realize, oh, I should have applied for this license. This is the one I qualify for instead of this one. So there's a lot of ABC licenses in the state of Virginia. So you want to make sure that you're applying for the right one, you qualify for it, and that will help you with going through this process much seamlessly, all right? So I appreciate you watching this. If you found it informative, please give it a thumbs up, comment below. If you have an idea for a video, I would love to hear about it. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. Cheers.